We have a treat for you. We have the author of It's Too Late to Quit, the book, and she also has a wonderful blog, and we'll explain that and talk about that. And I'm just so excited to be here with Sheri Leigh Myers. Sheri, welcome to the Soul Food Book
Oh,
Club.
this is this is such a thrill. It was just I kind of forgot about it, and then it was like, oh my gosh, I'm in a book club. Thank you so much, Terry. This means the world to me to go back and look at the book again because it came out in May. Then blah 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 blah, a lot of activity, and now we've had time for it to sink in and to be able to, like what's in it. What did we
Yes,
do?
ma'am.
You know, how can it help?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's such an awesome book. So I'm so glad that people are getting a chance to read it. And we have in the Zoom room Jean Loriot, Linda Lemieux, and Christina Leftwich. And hello, everybody. So I'm just taking a moment to share this onto my timeline. If it will let me. Facebook has been really weird lately of letting us share things. Don't know what's up with that, but I'm going to try it. Oh, yeah, it let me. Okay, good. Awesome. So let's talk about this amazing book. Sheri,
Thank you.
tell us how you got the inspiration to do this book. We want to
Sure.
hear.
Well, my blog is called "It's Still Too Late to Quit." Okay, because there's a blog in there that really explains my whole journey as an independent filmmaker. And when I started the podcast, interviewing angel channels from all over the world, especially Terry, I began to understand that there was a connection. I mean, I'd written about it in the movie, but I didn't really have my connection. And I started to do more meditating. I mean, this has been because making an independent film and finding your way, there's a lot of, as Terry will say, there's a lot of things all of a sudden that are obstacles that are in the way, and you have to adjust, and you have to really stay good no matter what happens. And here's a film about angels that I was learning how the angels can help us. So I started to, I'm going to say channel, because, and it's so funny because I used to do it when I was like a kid, but now I'm back. And it's like just something's going to come through after I meditate. And I meditate as much as I can before I work because I need inspiration. So it gets to the end of last year, we realized that we're not going to be making the film last year. I've got like 6 months left, and I've got time to write the book and pull all of these quotes together. At the same time, I'm producing my mother's solo art show, which is she's at the age of 92. She's launching her career, and all this whole book is about reboot and about the impossible dream, an event which was for her impossible. There she is, 92, et cetera, et cetera. So, time to do the book because she's also 92. So we did. And I pulled it all together while I was in New Hampshire at the lake, and she had fallen pre-COVID, and I was there to actually look in on her and tend to her. And I'd come home at night and look at these pages. Dan was in New Orleans. I sent him all the pages, and he made the arrangement. So there you go. He intuited a pattern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Linda, I really did want to know, what are the three parts that you saw with the book?
Okay, first of all, you could open it to any page and it would be something you needed to hear that day. But overall,
Yeah.
I opened it, I had to read it cover to cover, just like Jean. And I thought it was just kind of one thought after another. But today I went back and marked a couple pages And the beginning is it gives you self-respect, it's encouraging, it's coaching, and tells you can change.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to the middle and it says it's past the coaching and it says you are this.
Mm-hmm.
And what you can build, and you're part of a soul group or a tribe,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have a sacred mission. That was from Kevin Morris.
Mm-hmm.
So it says not only gives you self-confidence, but the middle says you can do this, and think about what your mission or what you want to do is. And that the last third part is you can do this, you are doing this. Then it gives the example of your mother at 92. And I summarize it with it's never too late.
Yes.
Whether you're old or young, go ahead and start.
Start and don't give up.
Right. And don't give up.
That's
And there are angels above and angels on earth to help you. Just reach out.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a page in the book about asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's at the back. And I'm going to, oh, here it is. Okay. Page 89. Please note, if you ask for help, it doesn't mean you are helpless.
Yep.
Only if you do not ask for help are you helpless. This
Mhm.
little bit of wordplay is meant to reassure you that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. When you ask for help, you are moving out of victimhood. So, I grew up like with this kind of like stiff upper lip, Yankee kind of like super independent vibe. But, fortunately I got to meet people like Terry Angel, and her immediate connection with me and my love with her just put us on a whole nother level, doesn't it, Terry? I mean, there isn't anything we wouldn't do for each other. And I know it's because the angels have been guiding us through this time and with these projects. So
Absolutely.
the book is about bringing the angels fair, right, like into your life to partner, not holding back anything. That's, to me, is because for me, all of my life, I had this ego, which was I don't need the help. I'm don't need the help, and I certainly don't need help from little things that float around and shoot cupids. I mean, it's like, please, that's way too sentimental. But because I met Terry Angel and I met the people who my podcast, my first interviewee was Lorna Byrne. First person I interviewed, and my God, this is a woman who has seen angels, and she's a mystic, and she's got but from the time she was in the cradle. So am I going to, I just was able to to get it, that there is this opening in my life, which will help me.
Yes.
Right, Terry?
Absolutely, Sheri. And oh my gosh, I just so love what you had just shared. When you ask for help, you're moving out of victimhood. Wow, I think that should just be plastered everywhere
Yeah.
because it is so true. And I've always been one of those people that was reluctant to ask for help. And Sheri knows this about me.
I do.
Sheri's just like, here, Terry, I'm going to help you.
Terry, do you need help?
Right? Yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah. Well, it's always that, Linda, back to the three pieces of it that I really completely love that you got that. And I so appreciate it, because choosing that we are in a marathon and reframing your mission and your quest and your ultimate dream as a marathon means that it is a marathon, which means that it goes on forever. Yes, you will get to the finish line, but you have 26.2 miles to cross, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. It's not about the finish line really. It's about the faith and hope and the knowing that you're on your marathon. That every day you can go, yeah, wow, am I at mile 21 today? 1 and that mile 21, and I say this to people sometimes because I've experienced it, is that the time between the psychic torture you go through between mile 19 and mile 24 makes that for the longest period in your life, right? So when we're at those really challenging, super, super, super challenging times, it's like it feels like we'll never, ever get through that. But we are on this marathon, which means that your job is to pick them up and put them down, and pick them up and put them down, and pick them up and put them down. And we find ways to hit those markers. That's the piece about the marathon that I discovered, which keeps me from being completely, overwhelmed with these big projects I pick up, is that when you pick this impossible dream, and I have that great on that page. Oh, yes. Page 16. And I chanted Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for 25 years. And the head of the SGI International was this wonderful man. And he said this once, and it caught me, and I've never forgotten it. And of course, it's in the book. If the dream is not impossible, then the prayer is incorrect. So what I mean by that is pick a dream that scares the shit out of you. Right, Terry? I mean, hello, look what this girl's doing. Pick that dream that you go, what did I just commit to? What did I just? But if you don't, now's the time to do that. Pick that impossible dream. Mm-hmm. Because then you are out of your comfort zone, and then you are in the realm of miracles, and then you are in the realm of working with your angels, because it's hard. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Yeah. Right, Terry?
1,700 miles down the road. Yeah, it's not easy. But it's so rewarding, Sheri. It's so rewarding. Our biggest challenges give us our biggest blessing. And it's so true. When you're in that marathon, you're not thinking, oh, I should have just gone a mile. No, you're like, wow, just look at how far I've come. Look at where I'm at now.
But it's also there's a piece of the marathon I want to make sure everybody knows, that there is that part of the marathon which I encountered in that long period between like 19 and 24, where you go into such self-hate because it's so painful, and you go, why did I do this? Why did I choose to do this? When you completely doubt it all, you just are in complete misery about this thing, that it's a horrible burden. And I would go, just what is wrong with me? What's wrong? But I kept running, you see. So I just want to add that that's going to be part of it, because you're going to shake yourself up and shake up. And there's another piece of the book, which is how we unburden ourselves, how we let go of guilt and shame, so that we can give ourselves permission to have a clean start. Right? Yeah.
So
So
beautiful.
Especially, I like that page that you have where you talk about, although you can't see beyond your outstretched hand and everything's a fog and you're so confused and everything, but just keep shuffling on and shuffling on. Don't stop, stay in the motion. And then I like what you say, where you said, this is some kind of test I didn't sign up for. And then you say, yep.
yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. So I love that part. And
I also what I want to make sure everybody gets from the book is the sense that your angels, bringing your angels front and center in partnership through all of this, through taking on this huge potential, embracing your potential, is embracing your angels. And really, so all of that, you know, when the page is dedicated to someone like Terry Angel, and you go to the back of the book, then you can, you know, just go right to her website and you can see what Terry's doing. Thank goodness. So that way, I really want this to be like a portal. I want the book to be a portal to this, I can't say tribe, clan,
Family.
uh, congregation of angel healers, Reiki healers, angel channels, because that's I really just sense that we cannot solve the solutions of this of this earth and our problems from this perspective.
Mhm.
You
Can I
know.
ask you something? I like the idea you were talking about some kind of workbook or something to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason what I want to ask you is, did you have in mind when you wrote this book as for light work, that you're writing it for light workers or everybody? Because to me, it almost seems like it's for light workers to, you know, keep the course, to understand what your path is, where you're going, to find the encouragement to keep that motion going, not to quit, you know. But there's so many good things in this book that I think would be for everybody. Someone who hasn't found exactly their the end of their illusion or looking for their enlightenment or whatever. So I think the idea of a workbook is a fabulous idea because it might help those that are just beginning their search or needing to find what they want to search for along the way, you know, because I mean, all of it is wonderful. I mean, everybody should read it. But I think some people who haven't experienced a little bit of realizing how everything's an illusion might not quite get it at first. So I think a workbook would be excellent idea.
Thank you. Because my daughter is interestingly not at all connected with angels or a spiritual person. And the stuff in the book, the pages in the book that she loved, were the pages about the marathons, confidence, you know, that kind of faith. Even though what the angels, she said, well, you know, the angels is like, well, angels, not really, but faith, the concept of having faith with you was something that she could catch on to. So we have different ways, and I love the item. That's really great. I have wonderful interviews that I've conducted with most of the people who have pages in the book. And we talked in that 20 minutes about their take, their kind of like, I remember that, Terry, it was like, boom, here's what I can do. Here's why it's too late to quit. And here's what it's all about for me. And we will fold that in to another book club, because I'm just not quite able to put it up yet. But I think a workbook sheet with that if I can come up with ideas and run them past you all, I would really, really appreciate that. You know, I would really appreciate that. For example, 5 years, the concept of 5 years. That if we have this impossible dream and we give ourselves 5 years, not 1 year, 5 years. Mm-hmm. Because a life coach told me once, people always overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year. Mm-hmm. And they underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. So if we have a 5-year plan, that means it's kind of like that's your marathon, right? That's the end of my marathon, is that at the end of that 5 years, which means at the end of 5 years, you will get there, because what are you going to do? The other piece of that 5-year goal would be breaking down. This might work for the workbook, is like, just like the running, like this other page in here that I was talking about when I was with my therapist, Marty, and we were talking about this, like, how do you go about running this marathon and training? And 2 things. One is, when you're training for a marathon, you have goals. You have 5 miles. Then you have another time at 5 miles. Then you might have go back to 4 miles, and then you go to 6 miles. But all of that is plotted out so you don't get hurt. So you running at your edge, you run at your edge, and then you get comfortable, and then you have a new edge, and then you get comfortable. Well, that's what we're doing with training ourselves and picking these big goals and saying, well, hey, I got to learn Pinterest. I'm serious. It would be those things, taking those things on and go, on the way to having this, which might be, I don't know, 1 million viewers, something amazing, something that would make you really happy because you've got the material and you want to share, whatever that goal is. Whatever that goal is. You can break it down. You can break it down into units so that you say, oh, well, this year, I'm learning web stuff. I'm learning hashtags. Oh, it's just, what do I need to know to get to the next step? What am I going to learn today? If I work from the impossible dream. If the impossible dream is 26.2, you're going to get to 26.2 by all these other steps. So you've got to commit to every step, which is the part of the training, which I could understand, is that if you hold back on a step, on a run, what's going to happen is the next run, you're not going to be any stronger. So this commitment, the intensity, I'm like a triple Scorpio, so I'm like, forget about it, Mint. But the intensity and the commitment, that to have that with your goals, then what I would really want to do with a workbook is for you to find your community, find your team, find your 5-year team. It's like, yeah, I'll go on this ride with you. Absolutely. I'm there for you to have that. I cannot wait for you to have that. I'll help you have that. And that, because why not? Because Terry, how long have we known each other?
Oh, years.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah, about 6 years.
Hasn't it been wonderful?
It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing.
To have a dynamic relationships with people, and you have this team, and you have these goals, and you have this, thing you've set up, you set up for yourself to do, because yes, it's true. You can always start. And my mother started when she had been painting all her adult life, but she didn't show until she was 92. Mm-hmm. She did not become a professional until she was 92. But as you, as you all read in the book, I mean, there were reasons, why
Yeah.
she held back. Very insecure person.
Yes. And
That's
Sheri,
why working with the angels, healing, and that would be another section of the workbook is what do you need to heal?
Absolutely.
When you talk about like, oh, this great dream, and then whose voices come up? Who in your family said, get out? Who in your environment said, please, I can't hear, who in your environment doesn't care? Things like that we can think about because you need a team.
exactly. And
Right.
Sheri, everyone that's on here is a member of the Angelic River family.
Oh,
We all took on Sylvia and sent her cards and sent her blessings from our heart.
oh, thank you. Thank you. I just wrote a blog about that, about the incredible significance of letter writing and
Yes.
how it really helped my mother survive, literally survive, because she was in lockdown. So thank you, everybody, so much.
Thank you for sharing her with us. She's incredible. And I still feel her energy.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
That we are familiar with Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Book,
Thank you.
we knew who she was. We already had been introduced to her.
Yeah. So, I got to the thing about including Sylvia and acknowledging that journey was that I could have also some compassion for this person who had held herself back, who had, because of her lack of confidence. I mean, really, way, way down deep, she wasn't as good as the other people were better. I mean, she really believed that. And yet, so it took us literally dragging the art out of her closet and orchestrating this whole show. And I mean, I remember one very funny moment, and then she had said, she told my husband it was on her bucket list to have a show. And when I heard that, it was like, thank you. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's let her experience her art. And so we got it all together. Blah, 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 and I'm a producer. So it's like, man, you know how to do that. I know how to do that. And I'm down there having dinner with my mother and Duffy and Ruthie, her sister and her sister's boyfriend, and a table full, the pre-COVID table full of elders. And my sister said, oh, and my daughters talked me into having this show, this art show. I said, no, that was you. You wanted this. And I just want people to want what they want. That's part of the healing, right, Terry?
It is.
The self-esteem. I want what I want. I love what I want.
Yeah, that's part of it too, is loving the journey. When you talk about this marathon that we're in and it's too late to quit, when we get to love the journey that we're on, we don't want to quit. It's like, what's next? What's around that next bend? And that's where I'm at. What's around that next bend? Whose hug am I going to feel next? Just the joy of the journey. And this book really brings all of that out for us, as we can get caught up in that joy of it, the excitement of doing it, not focusing on that destination. The journey is the destination.
Yeah. When my daughter was going off to Korea to teach for a year, I said to her, something that I learned when I lived abroad for 4 years, of course, by myself in England, in dreary London, lovely dreary London. But she was going to Korea, and I said, honey, you know, when you go off on an adventure, it doesn't mean it's always going to be great, because, you know, the adventure part is it when it feels really scary.
Yes.
It's really scary and terrifying and horrible. And are you going to live through it? Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'd love to hear from Christine or Suzanne. Either of you have a comment about the book or a question for Sheri?
Christine, you go first.
Oh, Christina, you're muted, honey. It's being stubborn.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. I don't have my mouse, so I'm having fat finger attacks.
Our mouse is today.
I just like to say I really do enjoy your writing style. It sounds like some other people had already brought up. It seems like I can pick up this book at any given time and open up a page, and there's something that's waiting. That it just hits what I needed to hear at the moment.
Yeah.
I am using this as a tool in my toolbox. This is going to be something I already can tell. I'm going to be taking out my highlighter or making little notes and putting little pieces of or bookmark paper in, just because I'll have something to think about. But very much so, I feel as though this is a tool for me. That I can just address and go, hey, you know, I'm not feeling quite right, or I'm not quite making sense of something that's happening in the world, especially as a light worker. I found everything to be very timely as well.
Yeah.
Extremely relevant and timely. I just really enjoyed it. And I, if you were to look at many of my journaling type things, it looks a lot like what you're doing. In the book, I don't go into great detail, like pages. That's not my normal way of writing for me. There's nothing wrong for anybody else, but oftentimes it's one or two sentences that just really encompasses what I want. And I really enjoyed reading this. It was like reading a journal, or my journaling style. So I love it.
Oh, thank you. And your journal. Well, that's how I got, see this? That's how I wrote the book. I have like 5 of these, and I went through with a highlighter going, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, you know.
I love that.
All the way back, because, you know, look, y'all, we're here to inspire each other, and no thought that comes from there is too precious not to share. Because if you are a light worker, it is time, and that's the piece of it. You know, as an actual active, but as one of those kind of activists who actually goes to the barricades and, you know, goes and all that. I've done that a lot, and I know the revolution is here. I also know that healing ourselves prepares us for the good we can do. Does not mean we stay home and we're good. Not at all, especially with light workers, because giving people a new perspective, giving them hope is essential. We're going into a very difficult time.
Yes.
And our job is to stay the light, and no matter what, share what's going on. But it's like, hey, I used this today. I thought about this. I thought about this when I fell and scraped my knee. I thought, so we can help each other get through this, but also to evolve. Bernie is my guy. and Bernie Sanders, of course. So I was willing to write down what he inspired from me in terms of taking action and standing up and being over our stuff, so that we are fearless, right? We're good. So, it's definitely meant to be. It's more timely than ever. Thank God. It's too late to quit. It's still too late to quit. It's too late to quit. In every instance, it's the commitment to be here, not to be somewhere else, to be in this present, but to be light workers. How do you show up? Well, by being you. That's all. Just be you. Does that make sense? Of course it does. You be you. You be you. And people will go, wow, you. What about you? And you go, oh, yeah, I'm doing this, But when you caught on, Terry Angel always has inspired me with her energy and her radiance. I know it's because she's infused with love. And her gratitude base and all the I love you. I mean, I was like really not used to having people tell me they love me the way Terry told me. I was not used to that. But we can aspire to that. The people feel our love as light workers. Wherever we can show up. That's the important part. I mean, if you're not 92, then you've probably got 5 years. Right?
Maybe 10.
Good. Then you get to your 5 years, and then you have another 5 years. It's like, yeah, definitely. But if it's a 5-year marathon, I guess the other piece of it that I think about with the marathons and with the running and everything like that, I did start running. I signed up for this marathon when I was 48. Now, that was old to start running. And that was a really good thing because I really challenged myself to get in the best shape I could possibly be. And how we treat our bodies at this point in life will dictate how we are functioning in our 80s. And who knows what kind of healthcare there's going to be. I mean, let's take that on as our new responsibility too, is to be as healthy as we possibly. And that again, as a light worker, it's like whatever all that stuff we can do to elevate our vibration. So thank you. Thank you. The writing style is just I'm a screenwriter. So I get to have a voice, get to find this voice of this person. And when it was Marty, I could remember when I was with Marty and how his tone, and, that's one of the beauties of being able to, with the angels, it's just some kind of feeling that you get, right, Terry? I mean, everybody, you all know your angels they have their own voice.
Mm-hmm.
Sure do.
Certainly do. I'm just loving this. I'm loving hearing all these inspired thoughts that you come out with, even the ones that are in the book and the ones that you're sharing with us now.
Thanks.
It's all inspiration. And Sheri, you are an inspiration. I want to just thank you for being you, just like you were saying. Just be you. Just be you. Everybody else is taken, so just be you. Suzanne, did you want to say anything?
Okay, I'm on page 66. That's how far
66.
I got.
Hold on, I want to see you.
Page 66, and I absolutely love the book.
I'm sorry, you're a little soft. Can you speak up a little bit?
I can try.
Thank you. That's great. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
so I'm at page 66,
Beautiful.
and I absolutely loved it. When you read it from the beginning, and then you can't just start somewhere in the middle. You have to go from the beginning to get it. That's how I feel.
Mhm.
And it's to me like quick bursts of inspiration. Like quick injections. Every quote. Um, yeah, I loved it. And there is one on page 66, which is actually my favorite one. Um, when you cease crying in the wilderness from the pain of abandonment, you can hear in the quiet the sounds of all creatures, feel the forces of nature sending love and peace to your soul. I thought it was wonderful. Very,
Oh,
very, very, very touched me. Was like it was written for me, to me.
you was.
And yeah, I love it. I'm having a great time reading it, and
Oh,
I'm looking forward to finish reading it. It's absolutely wonderful.
oh, thank you so much.
And
Thank
you
you
know,
so
the
much.
thought that you had about the workbook, you can even go further. It just struck me like if you have people that do the 5-year plan, they can do little videos and you can end up making a documentary about those people following 5 years, since you make films. So you can even put that into picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to, I'm these, the 5 years is actually, I mean, you can run a marathon and you might get there before 5 years, but I want to make sure that everyone give yourself 5 years. If it's so daunting, because why not? And in 5 years, you can actually be in a better place in a lot of ways. If for the next 5 years, you also concentrate on becoming incredibly healthy. If 5 years from now you're incredibly healthy and you're on mile 26 of your marathon, what's that going to feel like? I mean, I do really feel, I have this passion about moringa. I'm going to just share it. Moringa, moringa. It's called a miracle tree, and it's a leaf, a dry leaf. And do you all know about it, Christina? Do you know about it? Oh, you do. Okay. Do you take it, Christina?
Just muted.
Hang on, can you say that one more time? I just told my daughter, I said, grab the moringa tea.
Moringa. Yes, the moringa. Terry, did I send you moringa at some point?
You have sent me moringa twice.
I
I
have sent you moringa
absolutely
twice.
love it.
Moringa. Moringa. Y'all.
Mhm.
Moringa. I grow it.
That's it.
Yeah, yes. And it is antidepressant, antioxidant, anti-cancer. Moringa is an amazing leaf, and you can get it dry and add it to your shake. Dan and I take a teaspoon and a half because my husband has prostate cancer, so we're gonna and bombarding it with these high nutrients. But the moringa can make a huge difference in your energy level. And I grow it. So
Oh,
anybody
do you?
in Florida, you can grow it.
Yeah, I'm up in Michigan. We don't have that.
You're in Michigan. Forget about it. Okay. And anybody on this call, if you want to, I'll send you a packet of the organic that I do. And I really want people to experience that because I feel we've lost, some of us, the feeling of vitality.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's important to keep that up, especially right now, because
Yeah.
even if we still, there's just so much going on right now that requires our energy, that I think any way that we can support that is probably in our best interest. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, who's going to do it for us?
Right.
Nobody. Ain't nobody gonna meditate for us, eat the right food for us.
True.
So true.
Yeah, so I'm kind of, that's part of that thing I would like everyone to factor into this 5-year plan, which is, wow, how am I going to feel in 5 years? I'm going to feel great. I'm going to feel really great, and all of that, because our spiritual practice, of course, and our growth, and all of the things that we can do with light work and with our message, sky's the limit. And here, my real feeling is that an army of angels is at that table, like I have in the book, at the table. They're sitting at the table going, come and sit. Let's do this. What can we do for you? What do you need? Well, angels, Terry, you do. We've talked about this. Well, angels, I need a car. Oh, you need a car. Easy. Okay. So, but because all of those requests that I put out on that table are heard, and, means we're out of victimhood. Hey, I want this. I want relationship. I want really good friends. I want to meet great people. I don't know. That.
If I can digress a little bit, I'm so sorry. I feel healthier than I did a year ago. And all of it has to do with, I wake up in the morning and my mindset is so different. When I used to wake up, this aches and this hurts. I wake up now and I'm so full of joy. We chanting makes you younger. Everybody, anybody who hasn't chanted, come and chant, because it makes you younger. But chanting at night, all the chakra aligning, all the everything, watching what I eat, which I started to do, 7 months ago, 6 months ago, cleaning out my body from things I shouldn't have been eating or drinking. And then just, to me, it's what's going on in here and in here. And you just love being alive. Everything is such a joy. And you notice everything, and everything beautiful. And it just makes you feel so much younger, And I certainly will try. I forgot what it was, but moringa.
Moringa. And Jean, I have some. So when I come, I have some with me. So when I come see you, I've got a bag of it still.
Oh, good.
And I'll be there in El Paso, so I'll bring some.
And
But
Sheri will be there.
It's just
I because the moringa is part of the whole pH balance thing of health.
You're willing to try.
Right? To have a balanced pH, rather than eating so many foods that create an acidic environment, which is great for cancer.
And I'd just like to say that I've been on quite the journey with the whole food thing. You can even kind of tell in my neck just how much weight I've lost in the last year of changes. Losing weight was not my priority whatsoever. But I will say this, my journey through figuring out the nutrition is, just because one thing works for somebody else does not mean it's necessarily for you.
For sure.
That our gut and our needs really are as unique as anything else is in the individual. So, it's okay if you find, just because I like to have the moringa powder, that may not be what your body needs. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was blown away when I found out, that what I was going to have to do, and that it wasn't going to necessarily be on the beaten track. Path, it might go a little and that's okay. And like I said, now I'm very aware that, I can tell you everything that worked for me but that certainly doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And like I said, I think there's different chemical needs, and I mean, it's just,
it's a different DNA.
Yeah, it's totally unique. It's a unique, like you said, it's like a DNA code.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the moringa is a great example. My best friend, I grew it, I dried it, I gave it to her, and she promptly threw up. So,
oh dear.
Right.
Forget about it, you know. Then she tried to ingest it.
Have you used kinesiology for testing? Do you know about the testing?
I do know about it. I haven't used it on myself because I'm, I'm down with the product. So
it is interesting with the food thing, especially. I think it's because it's a physical thing, and more so than, I mean, it just, your body will respond. Okay, do you need, or is moringa going to be good for you, or whatever it is that you would like to try out, and your body will tell you with that testing whether you should try it. Yeah.
The people who test, let me know.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I was doing that too. Test.
Let me know, and then I'll either send it to you a sample, and Terry will have some.
Absolutely.
For Jean. Now, is there anything that somebody is like scared to ask me?
I'm not scared to ask this, but I wanted to say the book is like, you keep sifting through it. It like settles. And one lesson I'm learning is I have more trust just from reading it in the angels and the universe. And I did anyway, but I'm seeing like a lesson I've learned, and it was so hard. And I didn't know if I'd get through it. Like, just like 2 months ago, I realized I'm not a victim. I don't need to be in that mentality. And so there was a heaviness to it. And when I learned the lesson, it like went away and it felt so much better. And now I feel another heaviness, which is I've recognized a lesson coming, and I'm not sure which one, but when I learn it, I feel better. So in referring back to the book, yes, I learned that lesson. So I trust you in general. And then I learned the next lesson, like to ask for help. So I trust that what you're saying is true. So I've come across a couple lessons that I sure could use that. So I trust that it will happen, or if I focus on it with good intentions, it will come about.
I love what you said here. We, the angels, like the angels said it, see you as an important piece of the puzzle. Just as all the pieces matter, without you, there is a gap. And I thought, oh, that is so gorgeous.
What page is that?
It's on page 97.
Sorry to interrupt.
Towards the top. No. That's just, that really,
that's lovely.
Isn't that lovely?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the rest of it, Jean, read the rest of it.
Okay. In the same way, your energy, your capacity to love and connect with others creates a grid of light and consciousness that allows ideas to flow and hearts to be lifted and great good to be created on our earth. Ailing Mother Earth, in our beauty, ailing Mother Earth. You have your part in this. So it's kind of what Terry's doing for us. She's connecting us with all the parts. I don't remember what we were talking about in another show, and I said, I miss my other parts. Do you remember me saying that, Terry? Mm-hmm. That we're all one, and I miss my other parts. And that's the way we should feel, because we are all part.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was at chanting, Jean.
Was it?
Because we were missing one of our chanting group that had been through the storm. Sally had done a lot of damage. And I am so, so thrilled that you didn't get any more than what you got, Sheri, because I was so worried about you being in New Orleans.
We've dodged 3 hurricanes so
Yeah,
far.
I know. I know. It's like
None
you have that
worse
protective
than this.
bubble, and we're
Yeah,
holding you up every day for it to continue to be
yeah.
protected.
Thank you. I'm getting very good about taking the furniture, taking that lawn furniture inside and taking all the art down and, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff and getting our phones. Thank God it hasn't happened yet. The, the page that you read, Jean,
Yes.
what else do you want to say about it?
Well,
Your part in this, what do you have a feeling about your part? Do you have a feeling what your part?
no, I think it goes along with, you had another page that really struck me where you said, oh dear. Oh, so what, help me release the following toxic beliefs. I am not worthy as much as other people. I do not belong. I am not the magnificent being I was born to be. And that's something we do tend to knock ourselves over the head with.
Mm-hmm.
I did an awful lot. And so what's happened is I've grown so much with our family. Our family loves us so much. I mean, we're all so giving and loving. And, at first, I had that feeling, oh, I can't belong because I'm not as good as this, or I'm not as worthy as this. And that's all changed. And a lot of it has to do with things like what you have written on 97, that we're all important. We are all a piece of the whole. And we have to be together to bring peace and love on the earth, which is what we're supposed to have. So I'm going to cry, so I'm not going to say anything more, but that's the way I feel. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful. And
Thank
Jean,
you.
you're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember some of those comments that you would come out with, Jean. What do I have to offer? Who am I to say anything? I remember that so well. And I've watched you grow with the love that has enveloped you from the family.
The family is, I don't know how anybody could ever not survive without one because I was surviving, but barely. And so like you said, finding your tribe, finding your family is so important. So important.
Well, you reached out. It was you who did it. You reached out. I mean, the angels called, but you responded. You answered a call. This question of faith, finding your faith in yourself and exhibiting faith in yourself and exhibiting faith in the angels and exhibiting faith in the good that people have, and just being that stand can get into all kinds of good trouble with that. Just to remind people they're good, and they have angels and all the things that we now can take for granted as part of how our day can go a lot better, because reframing it, I think, is everything. And then, wow, that and everything else we've been talking about. Working with the angels, releasing hurt, receiving the unconditional love, being unconditional love in front of other people. That's a something. We have a great, I mean, your river family is just I, of course, credit Terry and Gerald, and with all of that, it's setting the tone. Here we are by the river. We love you. Let's have coffee. Let's be friends. So providing that kind of comfort is very, very, very important.
I find it so interesting that so many people out there are just so untrusting of what that looks like. They're really kind of taken aback when they're like, well, you know, how could somebody truly just love and just be here to love? And I just love it when you can kind of see, nope, it's okay. I can put my trust into being here and trust into myself. That I like to see that transformation when somebody goes through it.
You know, I know Sheri doesn't. She has a very encouraging, believing husband. But do you all have any trouble? Because I'm starting to get a low pressure. Linda and Christina and Susan, from my husband into what are you into, and you're beginning to scare me, and that kind of thing. This is not the place for this. I am so sorry.
It's
It
okay.
just made me think of it because I just wondered if anyone else was going through that.
That
Well,
could be an hour another day.
That's probably a subject for another day.
Yeah, a whole hour, Linda said. At least an hour. It could probably be an entire weekend workshop.
I know where that's coming from, though, Jane, and it's needing that support from our family and us seeing you in your beauty and understanding and reaching out in that compassion to you. And we do lift you up.
I see what you're saying too, though, Jean. It's rough when your partner is like, I'm not sure if you're getting into something dangerous. I mean, he's worried about you. He's worried that you're going to run away and go to a cult and leave him behind and you'll never see it. I mean, seriously. Okay. So
I said that the other day.
yeah. So
he
just
did. So there it is. He needs reassurance.
he needs reassurance that you're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. This is like, you know, you married a long time. It's kind of like it shakes up the who do you love? Who do you love? So, you know, reassure him and be patient. That and really
I guess saying no, I'm not going to New Zealand, but I'll go to Australia. It's not a good
it's all in good time, you know. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep loving you. Come on. You can
I didn't mean to downplay anything you said, Jean.
no.
I'm coming from the same background, so I'm not discrediting what you have to say at all.
Uh-huh.
And I agree with what Sheri says, that
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah.
you feel like you've changed. He's seen it too.
Mhm.
So are you still the same Jean for him? You know.
Are you still going to want him? I mean, think about all the insecurities that we go through as our, you know, we're talking about it right now. Are we enough? Are we worthy? We have all these. He's seeing that. And I'm sure that you have been a source of a foundation and security for him for so long. And now he's seeing, I'm sure it scares him a little bit. Maybe he's going to be left behind, or you're going to make all these new friends and then he's not going to be your best friend anymore. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Absolutely. Well, ladies,
thank you. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Don't ever be sorry, Jean. Don't ever be sorry.
I know.
That was us.
It's going to be on my tombstone. I'm sorry.
No.
There you go. That is true. That is true. How many people watching have been addicted to saying they're sorry at certain points?
Yes.
I have an intern and she says she's sorry. She has to give me $5.
Oh, Jean, you're in trouble now, girl.
No.
Money. Okay.
Yeah.
We will put it in a jar for you, though, Jean, for your Australia trip fund.
There you go. It has a positive upside.
I think we all should go to Australia. The whole thing.
Well, I'm going, so y'all want to come along? I'm ready for you.
I
Yeah,
do.
one of those, what do they call it? Retreats.
That's
Yeah.
what they're called.
Absolutely. Ladies, we are out of time. This has been so amazing. I'm really feeling and hearing the angels say that we need to talk again next week about It's Too Late to Quit. Sheri, if you can join us, that would be awesome. But I know there are others that are still reading the book, are still in it and haven't finished it. And I think it would be really good for us to have more discussion next week about that marathon, about supporting each other and, inspiration. That's what it's all about. It's how do we inspire each other to keep going?
It's good.
The husband doesn't understand,
Very quick.
or the kids don't understand, or they're
Thank
demanding
you
that we do
so
something.
much, everybody. It's just, this has been the nicest thing that's happened in a while.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Sheri,
you very
just
much.
adorable. I love you so much.
We love you.
You're doing good work. Thanks for putting this out for everybody.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting the book. Really. Oh boy. What a wonderful thing. I can't. And what I'll do next week is bring some ideas for the workbook. Or I can send them to Terry beforehand and she can shoot them out to you all.
Okay.
How about that? Is that okay?
That's
Terry, fine?
wonderful.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
will
Thank you.
say
Thank you.
marathon strategy, commitments, unburdening, what are you ashamed of, all that stuff.
Yes. And thank you to everybody that was watching on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you. And next week, come on with us. Come on and have this wonderful discussion. Even if you haven't read the book or read all of the book, you may want to. So come with us next week, the same time, 1:00 on Wednesdays. Love you all so much. Sheri Leigh Myers, you are amazing.
Aw, you're the best, Terry. Thank you, everybody. It was so nice to meet you. Really. I'm telling you, it really, really has made my week. It's going to make
Good.
my next week. So
That makes my heart happy.
thank you.
Okay. So
All
we're going
right.
to sign off now.
Talk to you
Bye,
soon.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Love you.
Thank you all for being
Love
on
you.
today. Love you.